Hi-ho, everybody, and welcome to the Yaniki. I am your fantastic, super, always awesome host, Drexama, and we're here with my co-hosts. Uh-oh, Joshua. I chose
Almost forgot.
no, I chose the easier one, and then I was like, should I do the hard one first, or should I do the easier one? But
Hello, hello.
Joshua, our resident Hearthstone expert slash in uh casual
Competitive
competitive
casual
player.
gamer.
Yeah, competitive casual player. And Straga.
Nah,
D. uh how you gentlemen doing?
Not too
much
bad.
better now. So much better. I before the show I had an opportunity to go to the washroom, really take my time, do everything I needed to do. Um, so we're good.
No, well, that's good. And what about yourself, Josh? School pressures? Are you on March break? Is that a thing?
No, I had reading week. That was like a few weeks ago. I'm in the meeting grind of school right now. So just finishing
Not
up the
exams yet.
semester. Midterms, final projects, design projects, assignments. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing.
Right.
It's all unnecessary work.
Real career prep.
Yeah. So
All that amazing stuff. Ooh. Uh, well, guys, if you don't know by now, and this is episode 39 times two, uh, that this is the show where we
The
talk
second
about
coming.
the lost number. This is the show where we talk about esports culture and the things that make our great old esports world so amazing. Let's get into this. Let's just jump into critical update. Looming on to us is this is the second and last episode before we do Kings of the North. Woo. Getting excited, get a opportunity to make that event happen. Players tickets are booked. Everything's getting close to that day. Are you guys excited? I don't know. I'm excited.
pretty hyped.
You know it's real when you start buying food for the event.
It's the
That's
get
the when the reality sinks in and you start
what it,
you're like, damn, what are people gonna eat? Better get on
I don't
there.
know. Is that really like a standard thing for events, like to buy food to play, other than like the home story cup
No,
esque events?
but
Like you don't
but
know.
to
Right?
have those like food arrangements, right? To like,
Yeah, you know when people are gonna arrive and what they're gonna eat and you know sleeping arrangements. That's when it
yeah,
starts to feel.
or like I'm gonna have to leave the house. I should probably do laundry, like stuff like that.
You know, trapped inside the home office for 6 days straight, and then you actually have to go. And you're like, oh, gotta make sure everything's all cleaned up. We did get to do the the Cineplex esports stuff this weekend. That was a fun time.
Yeah. Can we
Um,
talk about Discord instead of Cineplex? I'm
Yeah, can
you
we not
know,
talk about Simplex ever again? Like
Jeez,
really?
we
Josh
have
wasn't even
what?
there.
We're episode 39. Well, that's 39 episodes we've talked about it. Let's.
Josh
All
wasn't
right, all right.
even there.
Yeah, let's. Okay, fine. We won't talk about Cineplex, even though I thought it'd been a lot of fun.
No,
But let's talk about.
it is a good topic. It's just like Josh hates it, and he didn't even get to see how bad it was.
I feel like those are the things we should have talked about, but
I'm just sick of talking. It's the same thing every
okay.
time.
All right, just summarize it. Basically, my experience was is that Cineplex needs to bring in some people who actually know a lot of the games. But overall, we're in a decent growing Spain pain spot, 2011 esports level. But
Whoa. I don't know about that advance. This is more like 2008, 2008 esports, like before anybody figured anything out. Like
yeah, okay, well, I can get
I
on
was
that.
just so lost. Like you got this massive screen real estate, all this room for information, all this
Mhm.
production equipment, lights, cameras, like studio equipment. They rolled out like big dollars to put on that production, and I was just like, can I get the player's name? Like, is that can I can I want to know who's playing. Like, nope, user 12. I was like, it was like nothing, and then like it was mostly like literally 50% of the time it was like PlayStation screens, either PlayStation loading screen or like the PlayStation Network home screen, or like I was
I
like,
feel like the sponsor drops were pretty heavy too.
oof,
They were like I get it, like you know,
I don't know.
PlayStation
It's
sponsored it, but I feel
go
like
back to like episode 20 or something like that when Cineplex bought up World Gaming, and I was like, man, I hope they don't fuck it up. They fucked it up. They fucked it up,
that any key
guys.
exclusive.
All right, what's going on with Riot? Let's go.
With Riot.
Wow, you just okay,
I'm
fine,
so,
fine.
I'm so
Okay,
sick
well,
of this topic.
quick question, quick important stuff. This barely impacts esports, but Discord finally getting video. I
Hmm?
Oh,
think
that's
that's a super awesome update. I totally can't.
Is this
Uh,
the Discord, the Skype feller? Is that
oh, that's
is
what I'm
that
hoping for.
is
All
that what
right, I
we'll
don't know,
call
but
it from now on?
so it's like friends list, group
Slayer
chat
of
and calls,
Skype?
and it should. Oh my god, please! I'm so tired of Skype.
I'm actually curious to see how Discord like rolls it out, because as long as it's easy and convenient to find people, in terms of adding them to your friends list and such, and it's got like good settings, so not like Facebook, um,
Mhm.
in terms of like somebody's requested to be your friend, like would you like to authorize them? Like Facebook does pretty terribly. Um, then it could be really good. And then the quality of the video, really important. But like if they nail those two features, like that's it. Like that's rip, right? Like everything else is done.
I would like it because right now a lot of people in esports communicate through Skype, and if we can slowly pull them off of it, I would be all the happier for it.
the issue is gonna be getting the users off of Skype, right? Like, remember a while
I
back
think a
when
lot.
Google Plus came around? A lot of people thought, "Hey, this is cool. Like,
Uh,
it's intelligent the way they thought about it. I get to find people I want better, this and that."
the
And but
problem
like,
is though,
how are you gonna
like
pull people off a service they're already using to install on their computers
I don't
and
know.
tell them,
Okay,
"Oh,
here's the
Discord's
thing though.
better now"?
But here's the thing though. I think a lot of people were like things. People weren't really much, weren't really painfully sad about leaving Facebook or Twitter. They're like, I like these services. Like, I don't like this privacy stuff, but it's not enough for me to want to switch.
It
Like
was never
the
the
service is
privacy.
pretty much what?
It's never the privacy thing. It doesn't matter if the service is better. It's you have to move people who have now Skype is part of our language now. Like I'm pretty sure it's
Okay,
in the dictionary. Like how
okay,
are you gonna get people to no longer remember that and say, "Oh,
okay. But
Discord"?
it's not even like Discord is saying to us, this is the first time this program's like Discord has been like killing it right now in terms of user adding. They've been doing really good. What really needs to happen is more people need to jump on board. You're right. Like obviously we're in that point where when we do esports related stuff, we're still like saying, "Here's my Skype." Right? How do you tell someone like, "Here's my Discord thing to add me?" Right?
And then
That's
they're gonna say, "Oh, I don't have what's Discord? I don't have that." And then you gotta be like, "Oh, then half your people on Skype, half your people on Discord."
Okay. Hold on. Let me just chime in here. But because by Josh's logic, nobody would ever use anything new. Um,
No, I'm saying that the obstacle to overcome here is to get people onto Discord.
okay. But here's the
If
thing:
it's
like,
gonna
have
if
you
it
ever done
really is this.
have you ever done a conference call? Like if you ever done a conference call, usually they send you a number to dial into and a code, right?
Yeah.
So if Discord offers you just a link, you give it to somebody, and you're like, "Here you go." Um,
this is what I was saying. By as long as they make it like easily accessible to like add people, not like the program itself is already very accessible and easy to use, easy to pick up. Like the amount of people that I myself have introduced to Discord, where it's just like, yeah, here's a link, and they're like, okay, and it's like 10 times easier than Skype. Like if you're trying to introduce somebody new to Skype, they have to like go to the website, download it, make an
it's true.
account, like
Yep.
log in, set up all their settings. Whereas Discord, I literally just give people a link. They don't even have
And
to
they're
download
in.
the program, and they're
Yep.
in. That's it. Like just yesterday, I introduced somebody to Discord, like somebody brand new to Discord. It was like, it was like, yeah, let's hop on Skype. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just like come on Discord? He's like, what's that? I'm like, just click on the link.
Just click on the link. That's
Click
it.
on the link. He hopped in. He like clicked on the channel that I was in. We were good to go, talking in like literally 10 seconds. Um, but as long as they make it easier to integrate yourself into it, then what I mean by that is like to have a friends list, you have to make profiles and you have to have security levels and privacy settings. And that's where things can get muddled. So as long as they do that good, I don't think that there will be a problem. But as far as getting people to use the program, if you've ever tried to get anybody to use it, you'll already have experienced the fact that it's very easy to do. There's not many obstacles, and people won't object really to using it, especially if it's coming like from recommended by somebody who already uses it.
I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like there is a bit of most of us who use Skype, we're like, all right, we're gonna use Skype because that's the standard. But a lot of people are generally like, I don't know about anybody else, but for when it comes to me using Skype, Skype uses a lot of resources on all my devices. It's unreliable, it crashes, it's laggy, but I use it
Yeah,
because everybody else uses it. So I don't know if that's just my experience, but I notice like when I'm on my tablet, on my phone, even on my computer, if I switch computers, it takes 1,000 years to get synced and everything to remember everything. So, you know, but I use it because that's where everyone else is. And every opportunity I get, I switch to Discord.
yep.
Um, back to Discord for voice. So I feel like, people are, I think generally people are a bit dissatisfied. And if that's that's enough to switch.
I mean, when was the last time you heard anybody say, "Yeah, I love Skype"? Like Skype is I really like I just love Skype. Like
Well, if you bring up
I can't.
Google Video or whatever, Google Hangouts, then someone's
I
like,
never
"Oh,
used
Skype."
Google Hangouts. Never.
I remember
Not
people
once.
were offering it as an alternative. Like, if you don't like Skype, use Google Hangouts. And I was like, ugh.
Hangouts
Jumped
pretty
into
good.
this. What? Google
I've used
Hangouts?
Hangouts. Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
I've never used it.
Esports
Hey, we haven't even
topics.
seen. Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say we haven't even seen Discord yet. We're already talking like it's
What do you mean?
No,
We're all
we
in Discord.
use
Are you
No,
Discord
we
not?
haven't
every
seen
day.
Discord video yet. That's like the
Oh.
Oh
topic.
no,
Of
no,
the
no.
today.
That's why I said it hinges upon them doing it well. Like it's not. I'm not saying that it's going to be good. I'm saying that what they've done so far in terms of ease of access, functionality, and the features that it does have right now are all much better than I've had with other programs. So is if they do video like they do other things, it'll be good. Um, not without its hitches though, for sure. It's still a program in development.
Yep. All right. So let's jump into the first set of items. Really interesting and weird at the same time. Riot Games buys Radiant Studios. Or Radiant Entertainment. I guess it's not studios, but everyone knows who Riot is. Big Brother Riot buys Radiant Studios or Radiant Entertainment, which is the producers of Rising Thunder, which is a fighting game. The really interesting thing is Radiant Entertainment is owned by Tom and Tony Cannon, plus Seth Killian. And I'll be honest, you know, I only barely played Rising Thunder, but it was really interesting. It's a PC esque. It's a PC game. Um, it's a PC game, PC fighting game, which should tell you something that makes it very difficult to get the fighting game community, which is predominantly console based. But it uses a lot of interesting mechanics from other fighting games, familiar items. Very anime esque from what I remember in terms of combo systems, and reminds me a little bit of like Street Fighter Street Fighter 4 meets Marvel, um, or like maybe a little bit of Blaz Blue systems. But the Cannon brothers have been in the fighting game community for a very long time, longer than I even knew fighting games existed. So,
Surprising that they made a PC only fighting game then.
it's from what I know, it's cheaper, like
Oh
significantly
yeah,
cheaper.
absolutely. Developing for PC is significantly cheaper than consoles.
So, like, I imagine if you're trying to make a game for the first games, the the um the guys from the Cannon brothers have in the past developed things for PC games. I'm trying to remember what their engine was. Is it 3PO or 3D? Oh, well, Delk, you'll have to correct me, but they've built things, the netcode used for a lot of the fighting games currently. So for Street Fighter Third Strike, they developed the netcode and a lot of stuff. But I guess this was their first actual game, and it was released in 2015. And it was free to play, which is really interesting from a fighting game perspective. I don't know if it ever made monetization, which is probably why Riot bought it. Like, I can only imagine Riot's like, all right,
Let's
conquered MOBA.
monetize this.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, we conquered MOBAs. This is it. So why don't we just conquer fighting games. Let's show you how to make a free to play. Because to this date, no one has figured out how to do a free to play fighting game. There's like Killer Instincts tried it, and I'm gonna say that was a failure in my eyes.
Dude, Killer Instinct was a great game. Just gonna put that out there.
Like, are you talking about the current Killer Instinct, or are you
No,
talking
no,
about
was
the okay
yeah,
the original Killer
was a
Instinct?
great game.
So
Dude, that was like they had like they defined so many things like combo breaker. Man, I'm never gonna forget that voice.
Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
So actually, reading it closer, actually, I don't think they're going to be. So, oh my! So they're
Oh.
actually closing their game.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what I thought. Initially, when you said Riot bought it, I was like, there's probably like an asset art thing that they're purchasing.
Okay, so they actually bought the team to acquire the team, and
Okay,
the
there you
game itself is being shuttered March 18th. Ooh, I guess I should have went a little bit further down. I was like,
So
oh,
they just wanted the people.
they wanted the people, and they're going to be working on something new. So I don't know what that like. They're working on a brand new game.
Okay.
So who's to say that if that's going to lead to a fighting game, or if it's going to be a MOBA add-on, or they're going
They're probably just making more heroes for League of Legends.
to fighting game
Why,
heroes.
why would you? I don't understand the logic of buying a team who makes a very specific game and like not having them make the same genre.
I don't know
Right?
how I
Like,
feel about that.
I feel like
though.
that's intuitive.
I feel like
Like if you have all that experience as a team making a certain type of game, like I don't know if that transfers necessarily to a different genre. But that's kind of my opinion.
I mean, if Riot bought them, all they really need to do is take direction, right?
Yeah.
what
So-
I'm worried or question about is like, you know what? How does that? I don't know how I'd feel if I was if I'm correct. If these games were kickstarted, so how I would feel if I helped kickstart a game a year ago, and then they're like, "All right, guys, pieces, we're gone. You know, thanks for helping get our game started. We're shuttering it 1 year after. Barely a year has gone by. So I don't know how I feel about that personally, but I didn't obviously put money towards it. Um, but who knows what that overall means for the esports landscape? Will we get a fighting game powered by Riot?
I
Or they're
highly
just
doubt
gonna,
it. No, they're probably just gonna fold them into the mix. Like it's. I
well,
mean,
they say they're working on a new game, so you know, like I don't know what that could actually translate to. I feel like that does translate that they're going to be putting together a fighting game because these guys have a skill set of fighting games. They've developing fighting games. So I don't know why you would acquire fighting game like studio people if they weren't going to work on fighting games. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Riot. I would be really surprised if they were like, we're branching out into new and brave esports, the fighting games. Like, I don't know. I don't see that in the cards for Riot, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I completely agree.
Okay. Here it is, NEK exclusive, as predicted by Tamir. I want to say maybe what two episodes ago, we were talking about Rocket League, and I believe you, Tamir, had gone and said that Rocket League knew its place, didn't try to be an esport. It was just its own little casual game. Well, today we are here to announce that Rocket League is going for that esports gold goodness, sponsored by Twitch, for a grand
Oh,
prize.
that's not by the publisher.
Well,
That's
Rocket League is
that's not by the publisher. Just
okay.
and
Well,
what we
that's
were
because-
talking
that's
about
probably
was
that's probably because the publisher doesn't have 75K to spend.
oh, trust me, they do. I'm sure they do. It's
Okay,
just
but this is okay. This is a joint effort. So Twitch is like saying they're the sponsors of it, but this is 100% the publisher is on board. Like this is the Rocket League championship series. So it's equivalency of
I would bet my entire purse that it is
that
not
purse is
being put on.
always.
It
that
is
purse
not.
always
Hey,
in
I
trouble.
still have the purse, so it's gotta count for something. I'm willing to bet that that's not being put on by the publishers of Rocket League. That it is an independent tournament. That somebody's
no.
like, we're gonna make this game an esport because lots of people play it.
It says Twitch will partner with developer Psyonix so they're partners, right? And whether Twitch is like, you know what, here's the money, but it has to be on our stuff, or they're like half and half.
Yep.
But they are on board. They're not like, no, they're not saying, hey, this is you run off and do your own
Basically.
thing and you use our
So
name. But
So when I say publisher sponsored, just for clarification, you're talking about like the Call of Duty World League, for example, which is like top to bottom, all done by the publisher. Capcom Pro Tour, top to bottom, all publisher.
okay, if
Hearthstone World
Psyonix
Cup,
had the
top to
extra
bottom,
money,
all yeah.
if Psyonix had
So
the extra, Psyonix is just they're a small development studio. It's not
they
like a
were,
Capcom.
well,
Okay,
they were at one point. Now I'm
okay.
sure they're rather large.
Okay, these people aren't opening offices all over the world or anything. This is probably a single office studio which made a
Yeah.
game that got really popular,
Yep.
and now they're like, all right, want
Overnight
to take it
success,
bigger?
if you will.
And Twitch is just like, look, we got some money here. The Amazon dollars are piling up in the vault. Why don't we? Why don't you? Why don't we do a championship league? We'll give you the money, but it can only be on Twitch. This is
Yep.
our content, obviously. But you guys can run to the heavens with it. And they're like, yeah, sure. You know what? We'll pay for the players' flights and shit, and you just pay for the prize pool. So it's these guys aren't sitting back and Twitch is organizing this by themselves. This is them
No, of course.
organizing it. Twitch is like, here's some money, to do it.
Of course
So,
not. At the same time, you take a look at a similar case, something like Vainglory, who isn't even an overnight success, and the publisher's just like, quick, get those esports dollars out, guys.
that being the Vainglory is probably a different. Yeah, okay, you can put it in the same category.
That's all.
but-
I like. You know what?
you know what it is,
I
though?
am a
It's-
bit surprised that Rocket League was like, yeah, we'll give it $100,000 tournament. I was like, all right, I didn't think that you guys were into this. So I'm a bit surprised by it too, and it does go against like what I said in the previous about 2 episodes ago. But at the same time, like it's not quite the same scenario, right?
You know what
Like,
it is
not-
though? It's if Twitch had gone to Vainglory or anybody since like here's 75K, they would have taken it. Why
Oh,
would
yeah.
you say no, right? So it was
Absolutely.
just Rocket League was just, Twitch probably look at the Rocket League numbers and like
That's it. They look at their viewership. What's it called? Oh, Rip Drekken, or is it Rip Me?
Nope, it's Drekken.
Rip Drekken. But yeah, I'm sure to finish that point that Twitch just looked at their viewership numbers and Rocket League was like, I don't know, like 16th on the list or something like that now. So they were like, yeah, this could go somewhere. And so they drop it's like a drop in the
Yeah.
bucket to them, right? Like a
Yeah.
75, like the amount of money invested in tournaments that are streamed on Twitch between like massive events like the Shanghai Major, Riot events, CS:GO events, 75K prize pool is nothing. They're like, yeah, whatever. We'll see
Mhm.
we'll see what comes of it. We'll see how many people watch this. If it's good, it's good. If not, whatever. Like no harm, no foul. Nothing lost.
It's good promotion for Twitch too, right? It shows like, hey, we care about the content that's on here.
And keep in mind, it's a completely untapped market. There's like no content for Rocket League on Twitch. Like there's no like massive international tournaments happening for Rocket League on tournament.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. They are literally setting the standard here. So, I mean, I could see the value. At the same time, I really don't think that like anybody's trying to make a like big time esport out of Hearthstone. I mean, you could say the same thing about Words with Friends. Just had like some $25,000 or $50,000 tournament. Madden had something similar. Like these games they're not trying to be esports. They're just doing it for publicity and recognition. And I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
Well,
but-
those are like coming from big publishers, right? Like Rocket
Exactly.
League is relatively small, so kind of got to work with what you have. But no, it's really cool to see Twitch pick it up. Really helps
like I
support
said,
it.
we'll see just how much is invested into it after this single event happens. But
Well, it might test it out, right? Because like from the beginning, from its inception, people are like, oh, this is such a good esport. It's gonna be a great esport. People are gonna love it. And like
Yeah.
it really hasn't had a chance. Like no one was willing to put in the money to see if it actually could take off and see if it, if people were really interested. So like this would be a good way to just get a feel for how people like it, how it is from a viewership point of view, and see what happens. I guess.
no, I believe we have Drexama back.
oh, what was stupid internet? I hate Rogers.
Oof.
Uh,
Shots fired.
I'll have to investigate this after the show. All right. What were we just talking about? Were we still talking about Rocket League?
Just finishing up.
All right. Switching gears on the other side of that fence. Speaking of esports and joining the fight, Pokken tournament Oof. So this is kind of exciting. I like
Now,
it.
there, that is a publisher backed
Very
game.
exciting.
That is
y-
publisher backed. Like
this
you're
is
like
yeah.
game
Well,
isn't even out yet. You're already announcing the details of your first $100,000 tournament. Like,
well, that is
bruh,
right. Well,
come on.
so Nintendo, the Pokemon Company, which is a Nintendo subsidiary, is announcing that they will be doing their first Pokemon Tournament Championship Series. Like Striker just said, the game isn't even out yet, but it's already announced.
Isn't it
So,
out in arcade machines in Japan?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
So
but
the game's already done, right? It's just porting
No,
it over to Wii
you
U
can't
for the
get it.
masses.
you
No,
don't have
I
it.
can't. But the game exists.
It
People
Okay,
have played the game. People have tested it. Like I'm sure there's like balance that's already
is
taking
what?
place.
Okay,
It exists in an arcade machine. Like the game is done.
that's like saying it's in their office somewhere.
Yeah,
It's not in their office. It's open to the public. Like if this was the one thing you wanted to do, you go to Japan
Okay,
right now.
so
You
if
go to
you
the
want to
arcade,
play
you
in
go
this
play.
$100,000 tournament, are you gonna fly to Japan and practice in the arcade right now?
I mean, if I thought I was good at it, sure, why not? If I thought I
How
could
do
make
you know
that
if you're
happen,
good at it before?
Let me tell you
die?
why not. Could you give me your estimate of how much a flight to Japan is?
I'm not telling you to do this, but I'll guess
Just
for
give
the fun of
just
it.
give the estimate. Come on. What's your estimate?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think I've made my point by asking the question.
No, I'm saying the game exists. You're saying that like this before the game's even released. The game exists.
It's not. It
not
exists.
beta.
Exists and release are not the same thing. Let's put that out there.
It's not on the platform that they're putting the prize pool towards, but the game, the
It's
engine,
not even on the.
everything's already done.
It's not even on the platform that people are going to be competing on.
But like, how much of that is
Like-
actually going to change it?
That's like
Game.
asking how much is it going to change if I ask you to play soccer on ice or on grass? Like, you know, practice on
No,
grass,
that's
go up to
changing
the
the
tournament, you're
parameters.
playing on
That's
ice.
changing
Like,
the parameters. That's like changing the map. The game.
it is changing the parameters.
mechanics
You
are all
really
there.
think that playing in an arcade and playing in a tournament on like in a totally different setting on different peripherals with how is that not different? How is that not changing the parameters on you? If you're in an arcade and you're practicing against, I don't know, random pubbies that are showing up at the arcade for fun, or if you're at home practicing with your arcade stick on your setup against people who are, you know, also the best in the game or just trying to get better, it's totally different.
Like the point was that you guys said there's money for a game that isn't even out yet. The game is out. That was my point.
Okay, but if you want to really split the hairs, I think the actual method of what we're saying is that people don't have their hands on it.
Okay.
There's no
where is
there's no
this
feedback.
tournament happening? This is a good question.
Okay, so it appears to be held in San Francisco, North America.
Okay, nobody in San Francisco right now has access to this game.
Correct.
Sure.
There you go. That's
Because the game will take place on the Wii U, and I believe you can use controllers like the 3DS XL as a controller, which is interesting. I don't know how that
Can
works.
you use an arcade machine?
No, you can't.
I wanted to know, you know, it's
You cannot use an arcade machine.
available
I think
here.
what's interesting is the divisions. So they've broken it up into divisions by age. So,
Wow. This is like 1996.
Age? You sure it's not by height?
No, it's by age, not weight class. So there's a senior division. So those are people who were born after 2001.
What?
Sorry, no, before. Sorry, born before.
I was like, seniors after 2001. What's the age limit on this game?
For senior players, those born on or after 2001. Oh, hold on. Maybe it is
Games only for 14 and younger?
after.
What am
Top 4.
What?
I don't know. The junior
Oh my
division leads
God.
up to. So yeah, they seem to be done in. There's like an
These
age bracket.
developers are getting pretty ridiculous.
So yeah,
Well,
divided by
Pokemon
age.
caters like very young children, right? Like
Yeah, but this isn't Pokemon. This is Tekken.
Yeah, this is Pokemon meets Tekken. So yes.
yeah, like so
is
like
it-
the real player, the people of age like to compete. Would you say
Let's be
2001?
honest here. Children, like there's gonna be older people playing this game, right? Like a lot. I'm gonna say
No,
the majority.
You just
of
said that
people
you
playing-
have to be born after 2001, did you not?
If I actually think that's what I'm looking at. I feel like maybe it's a typo, and I'm trying to see if
I
that was
sure
wrong.
How
hope
old are
so.
you if you were born in 2001? What does that mean?
like
14,
16 or
15,
something.
depending
15?
on when you were born. 15, yeah, 14, yeah, 14 or 15.
So for
I mean, okay, maybe 2001's the weird spot, but any younger than that, like you're just mashing the controller. You're just playing. Oh, I like Pikachu. I want to play Pikachu, right? Like,
No, but
there's
that's
a certain point where you can be competitive.
that's what I'm saying. If you have to be born after 2001, you're saying that the oldest person in the tournament is going to be 15.
okay,
The
so here we go.
oldest,
So
not the youngest.
there is another division which is called the Masters division. So this is for players born in 2000 and earlier. So there is a division
Oh,
higher.
okay. So
So
that's good.
so
Keep going.
senior division is like older big kids, older, the 14 and 15s, and then
The
everyone else, like
master's class.
the masters class is 2000 and earlier. So that's interesting.
Pretty sure that's how Pokemon does all their tournaments, is it not?
Do they?
The Pokemon World League's like that, or something
Aren't
very
you like
similar to
our Pokemon expert? You should let me know.
that.
Do they?
I can look it up. I don't play Pokemon
I
competitively,
thought
but
Pokemon was too hardcore, so he didn't get into it.
yeah, it's my strategy.
Didn't want to raise those Pokemon.
He didn't
Too
wanna
much
go
Raising
hunting,
Pokemon
so-
takes for fucking ever. No way. No one has time for that.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Okay, so there's a master class, and then so there's already, like I said, game's not available to anybody in the region where the tournament's being held. It's not available on the platform it's being held on. It's not even publicly available. You can't even like go
And
and
there's
buy
only
it.
and the two categories is Europe and North America. So Japan isn't even really included.
However, they've already announced a $100,000 prize pool.
Yes. Broke it up
Seems
between
good, guys.
so there's majors and minors. And
Oh,
people who
so
win
it's
the
a
minors.
$100,000 league, not.
Yep. It's a full tour championship.
So that's like $500 here, $500 there.
It's $20,000 to
One of
I
them.
guess the people who win the Masters division, and $6,000 for the physical winner. So they pulled a Heroes of the Storm and they told you a huge number, so you'd be like,
Yep.
oh,
That's
but
like,
it's really spread amongst
yep.
a whole bunch of other things.
Yep. Yeah, it's like $2 million over 17 years.
And if I remember, if I'm correct, some of these points are given to different tournaments. So if I think they're doing a Capcom Pro Tour style,
Yeah.
but it's regionalized. So
Makes sense.
so there's a Pokemon Nationals tournament.
It's like they've basically just started like announcing the budget for their marketing campaign. Like they call it a $100,000 tournament, but really it's just a $100,000 marketing budget.
So to Bear's point, where he says it's obviously in the arcades, in Japan, they will get special invites because they had an advantage since July. Yep. So Japan will receive invites directly into the finals.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. All right.
So
that Japanese supremacy.
yeah, well,
Grandfathered right into money spots. Like, they already have enough of an advantage for having the game before anybody else? Now
No,
they need.
Apparently
like,
that wasn't an
money
advantage.
spots?
got to be
Huh?
invited.
So that wasn't an advantage.
How did I say that's not an advantage?
He did say it's in.
No, I said they're changing up the game on you.
So that's this case. I don't know. I have to be in this point where I kind of agree, where they're already, flowing the coop and say this game now has $100,000. But you're right, it's probably just a marketing budget thing. They're like, oh, we allocated $100,000. Let's just give it to the tournament, right? So
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I personally, I really don't like it when events announce like their total prize pool for the season. When it's like the season's like, 18 months, $100,000. It's like a $100,000 prize pool over 18 months at 72 different stops. It's like, okay.
well, I don't know how else you would announce it. It doesn't sound nice on paper to be like, oh, the prize pool is 20K.
You do it the same way that Capcom does it, where you just say like, we've got a full tour coming your way, and details can be found like at the individual pages.
No, but the prize pool is what gets people to be like, what's happening over here? Everyone knows that's a marketing trick. You tell people the prize pool, and they're like, ooh. Like, if they put up that Pokken was doing a 20,000 prize pool, you'd be like,
That's
you might not
exactly
even
it.
read it.
I don't like the tricks. The ploys, cheap tricks.
Swindled. You've been swindled into hearing
Exactly.
about Pokemon.
That's it. It's like it's just one of those like it's worse. It's like clickbait, but for marketing.
It's exactly that. Clickbait. So moving on, unless anyone has anything to point on to about Pokemon. I'm
Pokken.
excited.
Super hype.
Sorry, Pokken.
Pokken.
I'm excited for some more Pokemon. I like Pokemon overall. But this is probably to appeal to Josh, who doesn't want to raise Pokemon.
I've been excited for this game from the very beginning. Like,
I'm more
you don't play
excited for
fighting
Pokemon
games.
Go.
Why would
I'm more
you?
excited for Pokemon Go, honestly. Pokemon
I'm
Go.
excited for both. But like from the beginning, from like Pokemon was about like two things like going at it and fighting each other, and then the game was released. It was turn-based, card game turn-based. So it's like this is Pokemon for like what it actually is. So I mean, I get excited.
I don't know. I have to agree with you. I like the idea of Pokemon Go. I would like, to me, Pokemon Stadium is what they need to make. They need to remake Pokemon Stadium, but for the Wii U, so that you can link up those Pokemon Black and Whites and Crystals and Ruby Sapphires and
Okay,
Sun Fire Green.
how far into Pokemon did you guys get? Because after like I got like red, green, blue, and then like once they started adding to the 151, I was like, guys, easy, slow down there.
I stopped at Pokemon Y.
We don't need these many Pokemons. Like
You got to where?
Pokemon
I like
Y,
Yeah.
which is like it's the last generation. I didn't get the new Ruby Sapphire thing. I just didn't care for it. I never liked Hoenn.
I made it to Pokemon Silver, but I bought Pokemon Black, but never turned it on. So I guess you can say I was halfway between worlds. So I got Pokemon Silver because I wanted all the EVs. I got them, and then um, tried to get. Was it Black and White? Is that that's a thing, right? So I got
Yeah.
Pokemon Black, and then kind of fell off from there. But I just stuck to what I knew, which were the EVs. Where did you go, Tamir? Red, blue.
red, green, blue. I can't remember which one was the one right after that, but
Silver, gold.
Yeah.
Silver, gold, green.
Silver, gold, and then
Silver, gold, crystal.
Oh,
And then
yes,
Ruby,
crystal.
Sapphire, Emerald. And then
Oh.
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Joshua, Pokemon Master.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh snap! I knew it.
I
Pokemon Master.
I love me Pokemon.
Were
Pokemon
you
are
any good?
best.
Did you actually do any battles? Like,
Yeah, I used to I found the simulator online once that was released, and was practicing, working on my team, and then I was in the middle of building it, and then I mean I don't have 12 hours a day to play Pokemon, so
when
competing.
I discovered competitive Pokemon, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a run at this, and then I realized if you're gonna do competitive Pokemon, this better be the only thing you're doing because
Yeah.
competitive Pokemon requires commitment. Like you have to be this is
Over the years they've made it progressively easier, but it's still at the point where you don't have time to have a job to put a roof over your head. You got to be playing this game 24 fucking 7.
Well, I think that even with it's been easier, the skill ceiling is still at that point that you can get into it easier. But if you want to compete physically,
No, the skill ceiling. Okay, no, competitive side only. The skill ceiling's fine. I think it's very competitive. Has some interesting mechanics. The gameplay's fun. But the actual part of making your team, from you having your team in a Word document to actually putting it into your game, it's just this long, extraneous process of running up and down, hatching eggs. No, I don't like this one. Randomized too much. I want this stat a little higher. Just going back and forth, and it takes a really long time. So
I'm always a big fan of the Pokemon stadiums because when you plug your Pokemon into that, then it automatically it took an account of what your Pokemon would be if at max level, right? So that you could participate in the 100.
Well, when you battle online, it automatically sets them to either level 50 or level 100. I don't remember what the newest standard is.
50 is the standard, isn't it?
Whatever
50,
it is, I know it makes it consistent. Yeah, no, the Pokemon Stadium games were cool because it acted as a better visual for what the game was. But I don't know. There's been talks about making it for Wii U. They never end up doing it. The one for Wii was fucking dog shit. So I don't know. Nintendo just does what Nintendo does. They always have like I never understand their agenda, and like I don't understand if maybe it's because like I'm not part of the Japanese culture and just don't get it, or like they just have some weird people going on there. But
See, that's the thing though, and that's what they're waiting for. They never will tell you the agenda. It's the Nintendo agenda.
like I never get it. Like they do things, and I'm like, you thought that was the best thing you could possibly do. Like every single time, I'm blown away with the things that they do. But it's been working for them. They're still profiting. So
Yeah, and they're still making tons of money.
yeah,
Well, I'm assuming. I could be wrong.
it's because they're selling kids' toys and kids' shit. It's always so profitable. But anyway,
Well, you wouldn't do it if it wasn't profitable.
yep.
They wouldn't stay in business, that's for sure.
Yep. All right. So, running down to TSN. TSN jumps in. This will probably be really short, but much like ESPN and Yahoo eSports, TSN joins the fight. The Canadian broadcaster now is doing esports. I don't know. Some people are saying this is, half-assed and it's not their full effort. Others are
Half-ass
like,
is giving them too much credit.
whew. Did you go
It's
to their
in-
site?
Yeah, it's embedded in the bottom of the website. Like you have to be really looking for it. I mean, it was never there before, so I guess fine, it's a step in the right direction. But like, maybe they're like looking, right? They're like give it a couple months, they'll see what the hit counter's at, see if like people are visiting it, people are looking for it. But of the ones I've seen so far, Yahoo definitely seems to be the best, the one to doing it most correct.
I have to agree in the sense that I think Yahoo is actually ahead of the game. Weirdly enough, I can't remember if it was Tamir or you that was just like, Yahoo might do it right.
Yeah, I said I was gonna do it right.
is it you?
'Cause they-
I don't know.
and there's you saying no, Yahoo won't, blah blah blah.
I still, I'm a little bit, but I saw they were doing video content. Wasn't super interesting to me, but it was still like
They have a whole
unique.
studio to do that.
Yeah, so that's what I saw. It's actually they have a Yahoo studio and they were doing content out of it. So I was like, oh, this might be.
And it's in line
legit.
with like the way they do their sports content, which is what I expected, right? And like their sports content is top notch. It's I guess one of the main sports news websites. So
Tamir,
and
did you
it
dig
seems-
into any of this? Like,
So I'm not a big news coverage kind of person, but that being said, it seems to me that as a very like inexperienced news article consumer that they both have their own strengths and weaknesses. I didn't like Yahoo's approach because they had this like weird studio and they had like a very I don't know, almost felt like a weather forecast when I looked at it. And then TSN they had a slew of articles in their back pocket, like they've been holding on to this and they were ready to springboard it.
that caught me off guard. I went to their site expecting it to be empty, and I see like articles from like 6 months ago, and I was like, huh? Where did this come from?
well, they had to make it look like you're not. They don't want to release a website and have it blank with like one article for the day, right? Like
Well, apparently, but it looks like they have a full roster of content just waiting, right? It's like they've been waiting.
Yeah, and it was weird because it's quite a bit of stuff on there, and esports is like a very happening thing. Like something's hot one day, and like same day it's gone, like it's done. You know what I mean? Like people, Reddit like blows up over something, 30 minutes later it's done, like it's passed. So it seemed weird to me that they had so much ready on hand. But I'd like to know, a bit more about their plans. Like one thing that was missing to me from all of these from all the platforms is what they have like in the works, what they're planning on doing, right? What's their like not just their content platform, but their plans for content coming up. Like, are they planning on attending all the live events? Are they planning on giving like live coverage, live feedback? Because we already know that like the score does that. But like, it's weird to just like, yep, we're here. And it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do here? Are you just gonna like write some articles? You're gonna poach some articles? Like, you're gonna consolidate some stuff? What's the plan? And right now it's just like, we don't really know. We just esports. So
well, that's what
they just-
TSN feels like, right? They just
Yeah.
like assume all esports is one thing. And I guess what I liked about Yahoo is like at least like sorts it for you, right? Like you can't imply that a Dota player likes Counter Strike. I mean, sure, there might be some overlap, but like, it had like some good separation options and like, I don't know. I think they're on the right track. TSN just seemed really poorly done. I think they just did it just because they saw everyone else doing it, and they're like, don't want to miss the boat on this one, and kind of just like
A lot of
hashed
them,
together something.
a lot of them feel very much like that, like just in case, right?
Yeah.
You're like, if it blows up, we want to make sure
Good.
that we have our toe in the water so we don't miss the boat completely.
Yeah.
But it does feel like they said to some intern, and like, you over there, you know about esports,
Yeah.
hatch something for us.
I saw you
Right?
playing League of Legends or looking up something League of Legends the other day. What do you know about this?
He's like,
Very well might be.
he's like, sir, I don't know. I actually talked to somebody who works at TSN, and I asked him, like, congratulations on getting esports. And he's like, what? Where did you hear about this? And I'm like, it's here in this article. I have to go talk to somebody because I didn't hear about this internally. And I was like, whoops.
Well, it's embedded in their website. Like, I'm not surprised that someone who works at TSN couldn't even find it. So like,
It's hidden, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's buried. That's standard though. I feel like that's not surprising to me. There's nothing confusing about that. They're not sure, right? And when ESPN came out and did this kind of stuff, like right off the bat, they just put it on the channel. People were like, "What is this shit? Why am I seeing this? Why is this on ESPN?" So it's like I get why they're a little hesitant and a bit leery of like making it readily available front and center, but I mean, it's it does show like a non-committal. They're like, yep, we can add it without anybody knowing, and we can remove it without anybody knowing.
Just disappear into the night.
Nope. The only people that would know that it's gone are the esports people. So
In the middle of the night, just disappear.
yep,
Like,
exactly.
in a flash.
Would just vanish.
Just gone. And no one would notice.
Nobody would know.
Into the middle of the night. That's so funny. Yeah. You know what though, sir? So far, the two people who are doing it right, in my opinion, is Daily Dot and The Score. Like they're committed, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna do some esports, and this is it, right?
I mean, we've had news coverage for esports for some time now that extends beyond these, like
Yeah.
like
Okay. Well,
media conglomerates.
I don't think any of them believe that they're coming to save us. I don't think any, but they have audiences, and they're trying to say to their audiences, now you can get the esports from us. You already get the regular sports. You might as well, right?
And there's also another thing to be said about it. They're all trying to be like multifaceted. You know what I mean? They're all trying to do multiple games. Like whereas there was a time when like if you want a Dota, you go to join Dota. You want CS:GO, you go to HLTV. You want like you know what I mean?
Well,
Like you
Ghost
go
of
to
Gamers has shown us that you can do multi. I think really well.
have they? Because
I don't know. I think
it's
Ghost of Gamers is a pretty solid news.
they're a great consolidator for information where you can get a lot of information in one place, but you don't really go to Gosu Gamers to like read editorials, to like read articles. It's like, oh
True,
wow, this is
true.
really cool, like, or they have the best interviews or anything like that, right? You go
True.
for like you go for updates on like what match is happening, who's playing who, upcoming tournaments.
And I think that's what these guys are trying to do, except for maybe.
Is it? I don't really know. None of them
oh.
have none of them have
TSN?
said
That's true.
so. Like
True.
the score
No, I don't
has.
think- I don't
No,
think-
all these websites for all their sports content, it's all like, what are the coaches doing? What are the players doing? How do
Right,
they feel at this tournament? Interview
all
here, interview
editorial.
there. Yeah,
Right? It's all
so,
editorial. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
think,
mix that in with a little bit of like the scores and the matches and stuff like that. But for the
Yeah.
most part, it's
I think
it's
the
everything,
Scores,
right?
I think the Scores are the only one who's ever said what they're actually doing. They're like, we're here and we're going to cover matches.
they
get up
they
to
were
the
also the first, so they've had the most time to develop their plan,
True.
right? To develop their identity because they've been developing quite rapidly. Like in the last little while, they've released a lot of like information and updates and like variants in their content. So it's not like they started out knowing what they were doing. They kind of fit into what they're doing, right? They kind of arrived there. I
Yeah.
don't want to say naturally, but or organic.
Well, I said like it came from there are other stuff that they had been doing with other
What-
sports. Like I think it's just they just
because-
copy pasta their
They didn't
Well,
have a
that's a-
match ticker previously or in their app. Now they do. It used to be all like, these are our predictions for this event, and now that's all gone. So I mean, it's evolved. Like, it's not. It hasn't remained static, and it's not like they launched their platform. They're like the score joins esports, and here's what we're gonna be doing. You know, like, so.
Well, okay, well the thing is like some of these content providers don't realize that like yes, there's a lot of overlap from sports, and that's what a lot of us want. Like we want to see our matches, we want to be notified of like the updates on our favorite teams, our favorite players, like who's not performing, or like what do the coach of my favorite team say, like stuff like that. Like you kind of want some of that, but at the same time, like they kind of just they're lumping esports all in like one thing, and they don't realize how it kind of differentiates from regular sports, and like that's what's kind of causing like an issue right now.
I don't know why that's so difficult though, because if you are into regular sports, you may not be into hockey, but you might be into football.
That's what I mean, right? Like they're lumping like hockey and baseball on the same like feed, right? And like that's not necessarily what people want. So,
Well, don't you currently get that from regular sports? If you're watching, you know, if you go to TSN, you're gonna get like hockey shit come to you if you only like football. Like I think that's how they already.
no,
do
no,
it.
no, like you'll go on and you'll hit NFL, right? And like you're only gonna get the NFL news, or you
Oh, I
or you
see.
go on and you say like I like NFL, like MLB, and I like lacrosse, and like that's what your feed is full of. Only the things you care about.
Oh, you can do that.
yeah,
Can you separate your?
If you get the chance, I would like check out the Score Sports, not Score Esports, and like go through and play with it. Like if the Score Esports can become exactly like what that app is for esports, I would be very happy, and like that would kind of be the savior.
The Score Esports one is you can take your
It's
your
getting
app
there.
and you can turn off things. You'd be like, all right, I
It's
only
getting
want.
there. It's not there yet, but it's
Because
getting
my
like every time it
Score app
updates, it's
only
getting
shows me-
it's getting closer and closer to every time. But it's not there yet. Like when you get the chance, download the Score Sports. Just follow some players, follow some teams. Just like play with it randomly, and you'll see
was
like
dirty to-
what like a real sports news app is like. So
I don't know. I don't know how relevant that experience is. I'd more just rely on what you know as an esports consumer to be like, you know what, this is what I'm missing, guys. Like
yeah.
you don't
Just tell them
need
straight up.
to follow like a real sports, like a conventional sports app to get
I
the idea of
currently-
what you as an esports consumer want. I feel like that's honestly where a lot of them fall short. Like I said, when I was looking at Yahoo, it's like she was giving me the weather. I was like, this is not like it's esports. It's there's a lot of things that are comparable, but we've said it a million times. Like it's a different beast. So,
So are you
just-
saying that they should be doing like dank memes and you know?
I don't know about that particular part of esports, but it is a very rapid fire environment that doesn't happen on the same kind of schedule or in the same kind of references as sports does. Like, and to degrees, like League of Legends works a lot more like traditional sports than like Street Fighter does, for example, right? And so that's really what I'm kind of getting at is like
Fair enough.
they're, you know, like the NHL and the NBA and like they all have like established organizations that happen in very like routine and documented ways that have been going on for years, and everybody knows them, and you can't just like arrive in esports and apply those formulas to them because you've been doing it for years or what have you, or because it worked for you in that department. I think that esports deserves a little bit of like tender love and attention from these websites, and I think that honestly whoever does that first, whoever gets like really connected within esports, gets to know the players, gets to know the coaches, the tournament organizers, the ins, the outs, gets to know the dank memes, they're gonna be the one that lasts. Because let's be
I'm
real.
gonna say that's gonna be the score. I think. Nope. Actually, I'm gonna say Daily Dot. I'm gonna put my bet right now that Daily Dot is gonna be the one to do that. I've watched some of their original content, and except for a few shortcomings in here and there, I think some of their content's been pretty on point. But you know what? We'll see what happens with ESPN because they're the ones I'm counting on to figure it out before the others. And we'll do that.
Can we make predictions? Just because I want to look back on this.
Okay. So
Sure.
you want to
ESPN?
call out right now
ES
who's gonna last?
ESPN's gonna fizzle. ESPN's gonna do it wrong, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, see, no one cares about esports. It's not a thing," and then they're gonna fizzle. The score.
Okay, why don't you rank, let's do real predictions. Why don't you rank
Yeah.
it in your top three? Your top
Top
three,
three.
like your leader, your middle one, and your.
Hold on. We also
No,
we
no,
need
all for different things though, right? Like, I think the score, if they ever pick up another game other than Dota, CS:GO, and League of Legends, like has an insane amount of potential just because how powerful their sports app
That
is.
seems how on a touch you are because the score has like 7 games now.
No,
I'm
no,
actually
they
looking
have
at it.
news for 7 games. They
Oh,
don't
okay,
have
true.
they don't have
All right.
match results. They don't have like real content.
You're right.
For
Okay. Yep. All right. Correct. That's correct.
Okay, so I'll rank 3. So I'll give you the Daily Dots number 1. I will put them at number 1. I will put Yahoo at number 2, and I'll put the score at number 3. And the reason I'm not putting the score ahead of Yahoo is because they don't have web content right now, or they don't have and like I think Yahoo's kind of setting up this whole infrastructure. They're going full, like they're really trying to hammer it home. They're getting like a studio. They're hiring like these personalities to like interact with people you're gonna get to know, and it's like more of like a central hub you can go to. I think it's like separating all the content, making it organized, showing you the match results for like go ahead in time for the games you care about. I think they're just doing it correctly. But the Daily Dot has been doing it for quite some time now, and the stuff I see that comes out of there, I think is
I love that
of very high quality. So I think they already have like, I think they're the furthest ahead right now, and I don't see how like you can retract from that. I think that they're the closest to kind of what we need.
Tamir, your predictions.
Okay, so I honestly, like I said, this is not my area of expertise. But that being said, I won't back down from a prediction request. I think that the score is going to be at the very top. They're going to be the premier destination for all things esports. I don't know Daily Dot. They've published a couple of articles. I've been on there a few times, but like, I don't know. It seems like they kind of do it a little bit of like for fun, a little bit of hobby. They're like, they're not how to say they're not like super serial about like esports coverage. They're more like, we got this cool story we want you guys to check out, stuff like that, right? They're just gonna report on things that are interesting as opposed to like all the happenings and giving you like a full scope, which is what the score seems committed to. So I'm not actually gonna include the Daily Dot in my top 3. I'm gonna go with the score being the number 1 news outlet, followed by TSN, because even though I'm not really sure where they're going, they've shown quite a bit of like commitment up front, or quite a bit
TSN's
of like,
Canadian, right?
Yep.
Does that make a difference?
Yeah, because like Americans aren't going on TSN.ca to check the hockey score, right? Like they're going to
actually,
ESPN.
I think a lot of Americans do recognize TSN from what I gathered from the Reddit.
They might know of it. They might have games that are exclusive to TSN that they kind of stream in on it or whatever.
Okay,
the thing is, but like I don't. Yeah.
We're talking about a digital media. Like they don't. It's not. They. That's like saying, oh, I'm not gonna buy something if it's coming from Amazon Japan. Like, it's
No, I'm
Anyway.
saying I'm saying to us it's a little bit more embellished because we're so close to TSN. Like TSN is a big name to us, but to the rest of the world, they're like, who's that?
What part of the TSN announcement was Canadian to you?
The fact that the only people who shared it were Canadians that I knew.
Did anybody share the score announcements with you that wasn't Canadian?
The
Do you have a lot of people-
the score app is international.
Do
I'm
you have a
not
lot of
eSports app.
people that aren't Canadian in your sphere? Is what I'm asking.
No, that's fair. But like, there are quite a few. Like I do follow other esports personalities, and the only people I heard talk about are the Canadians. I'm saying to us, the TSN is a big name. I'm saying to the rest of the world, they might not know who TSN is. I'm not saying that they can't become international, and they can't be. I'm just asking if like that's factored into your prediction. That's why, to me, I kind of disregarded TSN entirely. But
And
sure.
if ESPN does any kind of coverage, then they will be my third. But I don't actually know how. Like right now, they're kind of toying with the idea, but I haven't really seen any like articles or publishings or segments come out of them. But I do
Del, can
think
you
that
keep track of these predictions? Just jot it somewhere. I want to look back on this a little bit. When we're
and I'm gonna
Just add
put
it to the tab in the
ESPN
show
up there.
notes.
And for my fourth
Sure.
prediction, I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna be very wrong. Like I said, not my area of expertise. Full disclaimer: knowing what you don't know is very important.
what's number 4?
That I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought
That was
I thought
number
that was
4.
the prediction. I was like,
Nope, number 4 was prediction. That's like I said, knowing when you're gonna be wrong is just as important as knowing when you're right. To me, at least.
Okay.
So sure I'm
If
gonna be
I was
wrong.
to, okay, so I'm with all minds out there, I would say my number 1 would have to be the Daily Dot, and that's because they have a little bit of a TMZ where everybody is, we're going to be reporting the scores and the news. I think that's very commoditized. The Daily Dot does a bit of the Reddits, right? They do a bit of the, so and so, struck so and so in the house. That's going to affect their game. And I think that Reddit has shown me anything. People really almost love that a little bit more than they love the games in some cases and in some
Absolutely.
games.
That's what I was trying to tell you, like when we were on the call earlier, was like, esports fans, they love the drama and they love it fresh off the grill. They don't care about what coach said, what like player's been underperforming a little bit recently. Like to them, it's like, ooh, this person called that person a snot right before the match. They got a little BM in game. Like that's all they care about.
So I think that alone will give the Daily Dot a little bit of a boost because they're the only ones currently to this date that covers the Reddit memes. Like they will find Reddit stuff and they will tell you about it. So I'm going to say that that's going to give them an advantage over the others. Everyone is going to they're more like, because traditional sports you don't cover like Reddit memes, that kind of that's not something that you cover in traditional sports. And TSN, ESPN, and the score won't venture down into the meme territory. That's not their thing. So I'm going to put the Daily Dot at the top. I think Yahoo may dabble in the meme territory and maybe get themselves a little bit higher because they'll be like, oh, memes make money. So they might do it. So I'm going to put Yahoo at
Yahoo's
second.
not doing memes.
You don't think so? Okay.
No, this is Yahoo, right? This isn't like an off-brand from Yahoo where like they can do their own branding. They're branding this as Yahoo. And
Did Yahoo
like
recently buy something in esports? I can't remember what it was.
No, they were they were sniffing around MLG. It was an
yes,
exclusive.
that's what it was.
And then my third will be ESPN. I think ESPN will make some original content, and
all the TSN hate. Nobody loves TSN in here, huh?
No, I don't. I feel like TSN was just like, we can do this too. The big thing that made me realize TSN wasn't going to do it is that you can't tell who's writing for them, right? When you pull up a TSN article, you don't know who made this, right? It's just TSN staff, and you're like, who? What? How do I know this person is trusted, right? Where's my Richard Lewis, right? So, the Daily Dot, at least at some point, had Richard Lewis, and you ran there until he got fired or let go.
TSN esports website even working for anybody?
Yeah, I was just there a little bit ago.
It's not working for me. Weird.
But that's my predictions. Let's get right into the last part of the show because we've been here quite a bit. Last part, discussionable. This is actually be a very short discussion, I think. One of the things I thought was really interesting is I wanted to discuss what media and what media can be the next step for esports. If you write books, if you make games, you always have another media to turn to make more money. So a book can be turned into a movie. Sports can be turned into movies.
I think the answer is obvious. Movies is the obvious example. Like,
is it?
But like, are you talking about like esport movies, like the way like what are we talking
or
about?
Esports games,
Coach
like
Carter,
is that a thing?
So no, that's what I'm asking. Like, where the stories, like some drama where people are playing esports and like you go to a tournament, we're not gonna make it, and then they win the tournament. Like, is that what you mean by movies or like Warcraft?
You're talking like Mighty Ducks esports style, like
yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Very recently, there was the IEM did and I'm talking about non-documentaries. I'm gonna put documentaries in its own. Like, we've done documentaries. We finished documentaries are done. Like we've done.
They're not done. They're just getting started, dude.
You're just bored of them.
They're just getting started. Documentaries.
No,
they're just warming up.
Documentaries are done. Documentaries are done. They were like 5.
So a good portion of the world, they still don't understand the industry, right? Like they're informative.
All right, let's have this discussion.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's talk about this now. This is good.
I think documentaries are coming up. I think that we've just gotten started with them. We've seen some relatively good success. They've been informative and educational, and people have enjoyed them for the most part. People in the industry have enjoyed them, and people new to the industry are kind of like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. I didn't know that. I think documentaries are just getting warmed up.
Nope. It's I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Mighty Ducks. That's the next one. That's
you really?
Esports.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's it.
Those rose tinted goggles. Draken always 10 years ahead of esports.
Oh, just I know it. The Mighty Ducks movie, but with
What game?
esports we call it.
Tell us
Oh,
what game? What game will it be based on?
ugh,
Is it gonna
League of
be League of
Legends.
Legends?
League
No,
of
I thought
Legends.
you were gonna say Street Fighter.
Mm,
I thought you were
no,
gonna
I
say
don't.
Street Fighter was gonna be the
Like,
wax on, wax off kid.
okay, the Street Fighter will be the second movie. Think about like Coach
Really?
Carter, where it's good. Okay, because think about Coach Carter with like underprivileged youths, and it's gonna be like troubled youths, and someone's gonna be like, look, you gotta play some Street Fighter, and you gotta win Evo, and this is how you
We're
get stay good in
far from
school.
this.
The little
What?
kid with a dream didn't think he
Uh,
could do it.
Yeah,
We're
it's gonna.
far from this. Esports has to become mainstream before
I agree.
we're gonna see any movie like this.
No,
Yeah,
I
for
think,
like, do you understand like how many people need to see a movie for it to break even? Like, irrespective of like its budget. Like,
okay. Look, I'm not saying that we're gonna see this across Cineplex across the nation, and maybe first it'll be a Cannes festival or like a fucking independent movie festival or something like that, and then someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this makes money," and then a Sony or a thing will be like, "Okay, let's put the first one into production." Low budget movie. Maybe we'll take some footage from an actual game. For example, what's those guys? Pure Ponage. They just made a movie. That was esports, right? That just happened.
Okay.
So that's
I think another thing.
Yes,
That's
it's
a-
more
that's
like
a-
a YouTube video than a movie.
Okay, but the other thing too is like these games all have intellectual property, right? Like Riot owns League of Legends. Like if you're gonna make a League of Legends movie, like Riot has to be on board with this. You have to
Sure,
buy the rights
sure.
from them, right? Like you can make a football movie because no one owns the right to football. So
Okay,
that's
all right.
a large barrier.
Realistically, true, but okay, think about the Wizard. Like this has already happened. I don't even. This has already happened. So actually, now that I think about it,
Not-
Nintendo was just
not
like,
really.
all right, the Wizard. Let's here's my IP, and all right, so you know what? This has already happened. My predictions are
I-
correct.
I don't.
This sounds boring to me.
Okay, if it's
I don't
already happened, then it's not a prediction; it's a statement. Second of all, I don't know that it's already happened. I'm just gonna put that out there.
The Wizard, right? That was
And
it.
I don't think this qualifies as like a Sony feature film or like Mighty Ducks do esports. Like that's not quite where we're at.
The next step, I know it.
What was this? Was this like a
Good question.
donate and buy the movie type thing?
Oh, you're talking about the Pure Ponage?
Yeah. Or is this
Um,
looking it
I
up?
think they had a.
Or is it in theaters
Well,
across the world?
Okay, so it was in theaters across Canada / Toronto.
Canada
No.
/ Toronto.
Oh, there we go. So limited release.
Limited. There we go. There was the word I was
I got
looking for.
It's my
Limited
headset.
release, right? Well, you can't expect an AMC or a Cineplex to
Oh.
be like.
Was Batman limited? How about Iron Man? No.
What kind of question is that?
Like, I don't know. It's not like
I don't- what kind of question
there's
is
a
that?
reason it's limited. It's not that many people give a shit enough to watch it. Like
No,
we're
it's
not
just- it
we're not
costs-
that
it
far.
costs-
We're not that
It
popular
costs
yet.
money. It costs money for people to be like, you know what? I'm gonna buy up your thing to distribute it, and it's not gonna happen, right? Yeah.
And there you go. There you go. You just said it.
Okay, but relax. Hold on. Like, if you look at the Pure Ponage trailer, that's the first example of like the next stage, right? There's some ESL in there, a little bit of, reality mixed with fantasy. There it is, the final frontier, the movies.
I think we.
I
just
might
have
be a
to
bit
let it
biased
happen.
here because I just like I don't even seem interested enough to watch these movies.
I
Like a
think-
drama
I think-
based off a video game. I'd rather just go play the video game.
We just
Well,
let
I
him
think-
have this one. Forget about it.
All right, let's end up the show. Wrap it up. Final thoughts. Bear on Riot buying a fighting game studio.
Riot seems to be the type of company to do one thing and do it really well. So I don't know why they'd buy a fighting game company. Like, on like contrast to that is the fact that they bought the whole team, and like the team is very good at making fighting games. Like I doubt they're going to use them to balance their
Team of like 5 people.
whatever. But like I can't see why they would use them to balance like League of Legends. So like, and like they didn't buy the intellectual property to like take the characters. So like I don't get what their motive is. So it's gonna be an interesting story to follow in the future.
League of Legends fighting game. Let's go. Tamir, final thoughts.
I mean,
on-
the more I think about it, the more it makes sense that like Riot is now at the point where they're like, all right, we did League of Legends, it's good, it's running, like, let's see what else we can do. Just stretching out those Riot arms and seeing what they catch. To them, buying up a studio like this, I imagine it's nothing. It's it's farting against a hurricane. Like there's no they're like they go up to the development studio. They're like, how much is it gonna be to buy you? And they're like, boy, this is Riot. We better give them a high price and be like 7 million. And Riot's like, done. Like, you know what I mean? It's not. It's like they don't care. They're like, what's the worst that could happen? We get a tax write-off. Like, so. I wouldn't be surprised to see Riot be like, nobody's taking fighting games to the level where they need to be. We took MOBAs from the Dark Ages to the light. Let's take fighting games from the Dark Ages to the light. You know. And so I don't know.
The Messiah.
I you know what? I'd be curious to see what they produce. It could be quite a big deal whenever, I don't know, 2018 or whenever they release it.
That's it.
Because they did state quite explicitly that they're making a new game, right? That is
Yep,
the
they did. Yeah.
okay, there. So that's it. 2018 League of Legends, the fighting game. Keep an eye out for it. It's it won't go under the radar, that's for sure.
Mm-mm. All right. Final thoughts, Tamir, on the Rocket League getting its esports wings.
You know what? Good luck. I'm sure that there will be a great amount of participation. That they will get exactly what they want out of it. Is it gonna break any records? Is it gonna smash attendance, participation, viewership? No. It's just like any other game that has a $100,000 tournament right now. It's a dime a dozen. There's tons of them.
Same question to you, Joshua.
I think it's a really good idea. I mean, this game seems to have a lot of community hype around it, and I guess, or clearly the developers didn't have the money to fund this big tournament. And when I hear people talk about Rocket League, it's always in the vein of esports or the realm of esports. So this will be a good testing ground for it, just to see if it has potential, and if it does, then maybe we'll see the developers maybe put up some more money, or some maybe independent tournament organizers maybe put up some more money for it, and then see if it can grow from there. So it's just a testing ground for the game.
Joshua, same thought about Pokemon. Pokken, sorry, Pokken.
So excited. Like,
For
you
Pokken?
cannot believe how,
Really?
yeah.
For Pokken.
Yeah.
Have you
Do you
played
know?
Tekken?
Do you? Like I say, are you a friend? Do you know how to play fighting games?
No, I'm not. So, like, if you tell me, like, the Tekken engine's garbage and, like, it won't be competitive.
No. It's
I'm
not
fine
that.
with
Tekken's a perfectly fine game, but it's a straight up fighting game. Like, it's not turn based. It's not like
I get it, yeah.
my Pokemon's 25-25. Like, you know,
That's what I
with
said.
the
That's
plus
why I
plus
wanted the
variety.
game.
Like,
I'm
it's
sick.
not-
I'm sick of playing turn-based Pokemon games. I want a real time. I want to fight someone. So
All right, dude. I'll
See how
show
it
you
goes.
some apps. You can get right on that. What is it called? Introduce you to Rumbler. You know? All right. I'm just saying, if you like Tekken and you like Pokemon, you'll love this. If you like, that's basically what this is.
I guess the same question to you,
I-
Tamir.
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's Tekken, but with Pokemon models. Like,
But more the esports level, not the physical game
Oh.
itself.
God, it's. I don't know. We need to come up with a term for these like games that are like, we're gonna be an esport now. It's like,
Aspiring esports,
it's like, settle down. Just like just calm yourself.
competitive casual esports.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, we'll see if it's competitive. First of all, it's definitely gonna be casual. We'll see if it's competitive.
if it's not competitive, I'm just excited that there's a Pokemon fighting game, which will be fun to play regardless. But
Yeah,
Guess not.
I'm sure that will definitely be the case. Like, Josh's hope for it in that regard is definitely going to be satisfied. Is it going to be an esport? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Like, highly doubt it. Like,
I
not before Street Fighter.
Any key exclusive right here.
Not before Street Fighter makes it big, at least. Like,
I have to agree. Which is funny though. I think this is higher price pool than all. No, what's
Nope.
a higher price? What's the
Fi-
which
The
had
Street
500,000?
5, the Capcom Pro Tour is $500,000.
Is it? Oh,
Yep.
okay. So I guess it's the second highest. Is there something bigger than that? No, I don't think
Not
so.
for a single game.
Not for a fight. Not for a fighting game. Like even Smash isn't higher than that. Or am I wrong on that too?
There's no single Smash tournament that's that high.
Okay.
But the Capcom Pro Tour isn't a single tournament. Keep in mind, it's
Yep.
a tour. Okay.
Okay. So final thoughts on TSN joining the fight. Tamir, what's up?
I mean, it reminds me. Basically, it's a race for the top, right? Like whoever gets there first is gonna stay, and there's not enough room for everybody at the top. It's kind of like when we had the gambling websites, and everybody was like, "We're a gambling website, and we're a gambling website. You can fantasy bet here, and you can fantasy bet here, and you can alpha draft and king draft and fan draft and all the duels." And it's like they can't all coexist.
All the duels.
They can't all coexist. Sooner or later, something's got to give, and only one will stay because it's just not going to be profitable for the other ones. And that's how I see TSN. It's like, will they make it first? I really don't know. I haven't examined their platform, their intentions, their staff, their direction yet. At least well enough to know whether or not they're going to be the best in the business. I highly doubt TSN is going to be the one that sticks around for permanent. I think that there's only really room for like two at the top, like two of them to really like hang on.
In this space, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
In this space.
Yeah.
Joshua, you have a final word?
I don't think that. I think this, when it comes to this, it's a little different. I mean, these sports websites, there's so many of them, so many sports news websites. I think that they're going to have to keep an esports division, whether it's the best one, whether it's the most visited. I don't know, but I don't see, like they want to compete with the other sports news broadcasters, so they're gonna need to have esports somewhere on their website just so they can say that they play ball, and they're gonna need to allocate resources towards it. That being said, TSN, what they released to the public, like it looks like an alpha. It looks like like if I was working there, it looks like what I would show the manager like what it could be. Just look here's what it is. Like it doesn't look like anything finished. It doesn't look like a product. It doesn't look like something I would tell anyone that, hey, look at what esports here, check it out. Like this is what it's all about. Like it's confusing to me. It's confusing to like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, and I don't think they did it right. I think there are maybe a few months. I would say 6 to 8 months before they could even release something that's browsable or like searchable, and like it doesn't help. It doesn't help the fact that it's like at the bottom of their website, like next to figure skating. Like who's going to TSN to check figure skating results? So it really speaks to how much they actually care about.
I would love if someone was to
esports?
surprise you and be like, "Our figure skating numbers are pretty legit." Well, thank you very much.
Like probably, yeah. Like figure skating's like a legitimate sport, but like they also lumped like Dota, CS:GO, League of Legends, and I don't know what other games are. I think they had an article on WCS in there too. So like they're lumping it all on like equivalent to figure skating. So
I figured it out now. I know exactly why TSN isn't gonna make it. One of the articles on their front page for esports is the guy that won the Call of Duty championship at Cineplex. and that is indicative
That was
of
it.
bottom of the barrel
That was
news
it.
reporting. That's it. If you report on that, you're done.
the tournament that exclusively said no pros, right? Like this is the same tournament.
Yeah, I did say
Okay.
that.
Okay, and it's on TSN's website.
It's on TSN. They're gonna have to shape this up big time. If TSN is listening, if anybody from TSN or affiliated with TSN knows anybody at TSN, tell them to give Josh or Drekken a call. These two are big news time consumers. They'll tell you who to go to for news writing articles. But whoever's currently doing it needs to be fired.
I like how that triggered you.
Sorry, this is no. I'm just looking through some stuff now, and it's like, oh, this isn't like they're just off the mark. They don't know what to report on.
I think you're so triggered from just saying.
I mean, honestly, I really like. To me, it's like whatever. Because like I said, I don't really visit websites like this very often for news. But yeah, not looking good for TSN.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Striger, where can they find you on the internet?
At StrygWyrd, StrygWyrd on Twitter. That's about it.
Joshua, where can they find you on the internet?
I'm both on Twitter and Instagram at Joshua, Josh OOHAH.
Josh
For the first
Hoo-ha.
time in a long time, they all united. One united, one united profile.
Josh,
Joshua
Josh
on
Hoo-ha.
all profiles, not the hidden ones. All right, you can find me on Drexama on Twitter and Facebook. Facebook is actually facebook.com/Drekenpones. Instagram is also Drexama. You can follow this show on SoundCloud and iTunes, the Any Key. SoundCloud.com/ESChamp will also have the Any Key. You can follow ESChamp and all the tournaments that are happening at ESChamp, ESChamp.com to find out what tournaments are coming up next. Or Twitter, Facebook at ESChamp. Oh, man, so many things to remember. And Instagram, ESChampGG. Alright, guys, so join us next time. Same Any Key channel, same Any Key time. Until then, keep searching for the Any Key.